Good afternoon, Reverend Father Principal, Dr. L. Jojireddy, SJ, respected speaker of today's session, distinguished members of the management, all the participants and dear staff. The purpose of human life is to improve one's character traits by working on oneself every day. The horizon leans forward, offering us space to place new steps of change. I extend a warm welcome to all the participants to the 5th day session of the 5-day International Faculty Development Program on Innovative Research Techniques. Our resource person for this session is Dr. D. Bharatram from Pokhara University, Nepal. I request Mrs. Nagadurga to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. D. Bharatram, to the participants by reading the profile. Durga ma'am, please do it.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Nagadurga, Assistant Professor in Statistics from MCS Department. I am very glad to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Bharatram Dungana. Dr. Bharatram Dungana is Associate Professor at School of Business, Pokhara University, Nepal. He is also an ex-controller of examinations of Pokhara University. He has more than 2 decades of teaching and research experience, published more than 3 dozen peer-reviewed research papers in international and national journals, authored half dozen books, published more than 3 dozen articles in different newspapers and periodicals, peer-reviewed more than 24 research papers in international journals, presented 12 research papers in national and international conferences, and played a role of research person, expert, guest speaker, panelist, visiting faculty in various institutions. He was awarded by Nepal Vidyan Bhushan Padak by Her Excellency Presidents of Nepal in 2016. Dr. Dungana earned a PhD Finance from Banaras University, Hyderabad, Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi, India. MBA Finance and MA Economics from Tribhuvan University, Nepal, and FDP from Indian University of Management, Ahmedabad, India. To his credit, he published 6 books, some of which are Microfinance for Finance Inclusion, Publishers, Asmith Books Publishers and Distributors, Kathmandu, Nepal, 2021. Microfinance and Social Economic Transformations, Evidence from Nepal, PhD Dissertation, Publishers, Lambert Academic Publishing, Germany, 2016. He has published 34 research papers in reputed journals. Also published 43 articles in newspapers on various research topics. He has a membership in following committees like Editorial Board Member, International Journal of Research in Entrepreneurship and Business Studies since February 2021. Editorial Board Member, Modern Economy, International Index Journal, Scientific Research Publishing since February 2020. Member, Subject Committee, Faculty of Management Studies, Pokhara University from 5th October 2018 to 4th October 2020. Member, Secretary, Pokhara University, Exam Committee from 6th May 2016 to 5th May 2020. Member, Academic Council, Pokhara University from 6th May 2016 to 5th May 2020. He was awarded with Nepal Vidyan Bhushan Padaka by Ministry of Education, Government of Nepal on 8 September 2016, and a PhD fellowship by University Grants Commission, Sanotimi, Bhaktapur, Nepal in 2013. We, Loyola Academy, welcomes you, sir. Thank you.
So please take over the session. We are unable to hear you. Sir, we are still unable to hear you, sir. We are able to see the screen, sir, but we are not able to hear you. Not audible. No, no, sir, we cannot hear you yet. So maybe issue is with the earphones, earphones, sir. Yeah. Probably if you remove it away, we can hear you. Yeah, please unplug them, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Professor, Dr. Bharatram, sir. No. So we are still unable to hear you, sir. There is some issue with the audio. Maybe you should be joining with your computer audio on. So are you able to hear us? I am listening. Yes, sir. That kindly rejoin with your computer audio on, sir. Thank you. Participants, let us wait for a few seconds until Professor will make a rejoin, as there is some minor issue with the audio of the computer. We are unable to hear. Caller.
Yes, yes. Now is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happened?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Please
Sorry,
session, sir.
sorry for interruption.
No worries.
Now,
Online.
okay, the screen is also visible.
Yes, sir. We can see the screen.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Respected chairperson of the International 5-Day Faculty Development Program on Innovative Research Technique, distinguished professor, principals, sir, faculty members, research scholar, and all the participants. Good afternoon, namaste, and warm welcome to all of you. It is my great pleasure to be part of here and hope this program will be a good platform for sharing the ideas and experiences related to the research, to the faculty members, to the research scholar. So I would like to thank you to Loyola Academy, Hyderabad for organizing such a wonderful program. My special thanks to the Loyola Academy and its family, including Professor Shalini Madam and Vijay Lakshmi Madam and all the faculty members. So, today's discussion issue is about the planning research, how to develop a good research paper, how to publish a research paper, how to publish a why to publish a research paper, how to publish a research paper, publication ethics, what peer reviewers and editors want. So we'll discuss these issues under the three parts. First part, I will discuss about the research planning and writing part. Second part is publishing and research, publishing a research paper. And third part is ethics and expectations. So developing and publishing a research paper is one of the important tasks of every researcher while doing the research, because research is a creative new knowledge. And as we know that it is an original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making for its advancement. So it is a systematic, scientific, and objective-oriented analysis. We all are familiar about what research is. So today's session, our session will be focused about the research planning and writing part. So most important part before writing the research paper is planning a research. Unless and until we conduct research, we cannot go for the writing part. So research planning involves basically the four distinct steps. First of all, orienting yourself to the knowledge creation, and then defining your research questions. Every research starts from the research question, so we have to clearly define our research question. Reviewing previous research work, that means we have to do lots of literatures, and then only we can choose the data, whether we are going from the primary sources and secondary sources. So basically, while making the plan, these four things we have to consider. So what knowledge creation we are going to have, we are going to do. First of all, we have to identify these things, and we have to define research problem, research questions. Then we have to do the literatures, what previous researcher have made the contribution over your topic, your research topic. Then finally, we have to decide what sources of data we have. So these things we have to make clear while planning the research. So research is the process of discovering new knowledge. While doing the research, we find out the new knowledge, or we can contribute to the additional knowledge. So this knowledge can be either the development of new concepts or the advancement of the existing knowledge and theories, leading to understanding that was previously known. So every research may contribute to the new knowledge creations. So these things we have to consider. And research is a formalized curiosity. It is one of the formalized curiosity. It is walking and praying with purpose. Every research starts with the research objectives. So without the research objective, we cannot proceed our research work. So it is a formalized curiosity, and every research has certain objective or purpose. So research may be in the form of the theory building or maybe the theory testing. Basically, theory building, we can say inductive type of research, and theory testing is the deductive types of research. So what type of research we are going to do? We have to clarify about these things. So what types of research we are planning? There is observations. In the theory building, we are talking about the theory building. So there are lots of observations, and on the basis of different observations, we can develop the pattern and develop the tentative hypothesis, and finally we can develop the theory. So inductive, we are going to do the inductive research or deductive research. So inductive is quite requires long period of time, resources also. So theory building requires higher level of thinking, higher level of skills, and higher level of resources also. So compared to the theory testing, the inductive research takes lots of time, so resources also, skills also. So what types of research we are going to do? This is, I'm talking about the theory building, that is called inductive type of research, in which on the basis of the observation, we can develop the new theory. For instance, we know, we are very familiar about the Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs theory. Just for example, the Maslow hierarchy of needs theory. So the Abraham Maslow had developed this theory, hierarchy of need theory, on the basis of long or thorough study regarding the human behavior, and he classified the human needs into 5 groups, that is physiological needs, security, belongingness, esteem, and finally self-actualization. So it requires lots of time to develop the theory on the basis of the observations, or the patterns or human behavior, and general hypothesis can be developed, and finally it can be converted into the theory. Basically, this inductive type of theory is a sort of qualitative research also. It takes lots period of time to do the research. But talking about the deductive research, that is called theory testing. So we generally, most of the researchers do these types of research, and on the basis of the theory, we can test it, and the confirmation we made on the basis of the hypothesis, on the basis of theory, we develop the hypothesis and observations, and finally confirmations. So theory testing is, or deductive research is relatively easier than the theory building. So the research can be undertaken for 2 different purposes. One is to solve a currently existing problem. What existing problems are there? To address these research, we can do the research. So to address the currently existing problem means applied type of research, and another is to contribute to the general body of knowledge in a particular area of interest. So this is all about the deductive research. Another issue, as a researcher, we have to think about the 5 Ws. The 5 Ws are, that is, what is your research, means your research topic, your research area of interest. What is your topic? you have to define the topic, you have to identify the topic. While starting the research, you have to clearly understood about your topic. So next is why. Why do you want to do research? So that is objective of the research. Your objective should be clearly defined. So you should clear about the why you are going to do these types of research. So your objectives should be clearly identified. There may be the specific objectives. You have to mention about the specific objectives. And another is who will be your participants, means who will be your respondents, that you should also clearly define. Who are your respondents? If you are doing primary research, then you have to define your respondents. Next is where are you going to conduct your research territory, geographical area. You are doing research in a particular place of maybe the Hyderabad is broad. In a particular place, you have to define where you are going to do research. So your area, geographical boundaries should be also clearly defined. And finally, the time frame also, when you are going to do research and what is your tentative time frame to complete the research. So the 5 Ws we need to consider while doing the research. So developing a research paper, how to develop, the issue is how to develop a good research. This is about our planning process, research planning process, but we are going to develop the research paper. So in the process of developing research paper, we have to consider about the basic scientific writing process also. So why to write, what to write, and how to write. So writing scientific paper is very important component of the research paper. Every researcher should think about the how scientific writing can be made. So why to write a paper? Common question, general question is why to write a paper? The purpose of the writing paper is means of communications, and when you conduct the research, you are essentially try to solve the issues. What are the issues of the research? You have to many questions, many issues are in the form of the research question. So you have to address these research questions that may impact for the long period of time. There may be the large unlimited audience there. So the audience may be interested what the outcome of the research. They are maybe interested to read the outcome of the research and have advantages over verbal communication. Verbal communication may not be effective, may not be enough. In such a situation, you have to communicate the outcome of the research to the large audience. And the next objective of writing paper is for your academic profile, to enhance the academic profile. That is for career development, in the process of promotion also. So we commonly write the paper for these different aims. So planning to write a paper, we have to think, we have to ask question before writing the paper. Think about why you want to publish your work. Is it really interesting? Is it really new, novelty? Then the publisher or reviewer also will be interested to publish your paper. If the paper is not interesting, if the paper is not new, then publisher may not be interested. So think about how your paper may be interesting. Just we are doing the research and nothing new outcome from our research findings, then the publisher or the reviewer may not give the priority for publishing your paper. So the research should be new and be interesting. And another is it a current hot topic? Means that it is the emerging issues. Based on the emerging issues, for example, in this present scenario, the impact of COVID, we can see the impact of COVID in the industry, in the tourism sector. What is the impact of the COVID in the tourism sector, in the business organization, in the educational institutions? or the effectiveness of online teaching process. What is the effectiveness of online teaching? We can do the we can conduct the research on emerging issues. So the research should be the current hot topic. Have you provided solution to some difficult problems? Because the research are conducted to address the problem, to address the issues. So your research has contributed to address these issues. Then only they may be ready to proceed your manuscript. Are you ready to publish at this point? So these things we have to consider while planning to write a paper. So planning to write a paper, what do I have to say? A message in a single sentence. What is your suggestion? What is your policy implications? You have to say in a single sentence, what is the interesting finding, interesting facts? After conducting your research, you have to say, you should be able to say in 1 or 2 sentences. So what is your interesting finding from the research? What contribution will be made from your research? What may be the policy implications from your research findings? That should be clearly, you have to find out. So is the paper worth writing? So what test is the paper is worth writing or valuable or not? Do you find similar papers? If the similar paper and nothing new, nothing interesting, nothing contribution, then in such a situation, your paper may not be published. Where to publish? We have to also identify where to publish the journal. We have to find out the suitable journal also and their format also. So the audience, who are our audience, and what is your journal? So on the best of the scope and objective of the journal, that your paper also should be matched based on the journal. So these things also we have to consider while writing. So there may be the structure of scientific paper, maybe different structure of the scientific paper, the suggested by Hogel's models, only introduction, body of literature and discussion. Another King model suggested title, abstract, introduction, body, discussion, and references. So there are different structure of the scientific paper. So if we talk about the medical science sector, in the health sector or medical science sector, the research, the structure of the paper may be the IMRAD form, that is introduction. I means introduction, M means matters, R means results, and discussion. This format is widely used in the health science or medical sectors. But in social science, we consider different formats. So on the basis of the journal, on the basis of the subject also, the structure may vary. However, whatever the structure may be there, but there should be the title, should be abstract, should be keywords, introduction part, matters, results, and discussion. Some may not follow these sections, some may follow the literature, may mention about the literature. But in public health or medical sciences, the literature part is included in the introduction. So this is a conclusion also, acknowledgement also, references and supplementary data. So this is the general format. This is the format widely used by many journals. But however, generally a research paper report has 7 components that is applied in many of the research paper, that is abstract, introduction, review of literature, matters, results, conclusion, suggestions, and references. So this is the basically in social science research, these are mostly applied, but in the medical science, we have to follow the IMRAD. So the research task remains incomplete till the research paper has been written and presented. So if we conducted the research and if we are unable to publish in such a situations, the research task may be incomplete. So publishing the research is another crucial part. So while publishing the research paper, we have to follow the guidelines of the journals. The guidelines may vary from journal to journals. However, the common format or the common guidelines, maybe this I have mentioned here. Whatever the guidelines is there, on the basis of this, we have to prepare our research paper. So writing a paper, how to begin, it is one of the important tasks, from where to begin, how to begin. So we have to think, we have some deep feelings about making the efforts to think clearly. We have to develop the vision, we have to develop the clear vision or roadmap, how to conduct the research, what may be my research topic, why I am going to do this research, who will be my respondents, what will be my area of conducting the research, and when I am going to conduct the research. I already mentioned about the 5 Ws. You can take the help of the 5 Ws and it will make easy to conduct the research. So get started. There are no whistleblowers. You can start your research work at any time. There is no need of referee like in the game. You can start it at any time. So prepare an outline of the paper. What is the paper is about? So you can briefly develop the outline. Start with the easier part and jot down the points, means list out some point. Quickly you can list out the points, and don't look for accuracy grammar, because it is the initial phase. You have to develop the draft and you have to make the proofreading many times, then only you can finalize the paper. So it is the initial phase. Don't focus about the accuracy and grammar, and prepare graphs and table also that may help to enlarge your research paper. And moreover, you can help with the help of your friends and junior also, friends, colleagues, or senior also. You can take the help while developing the paper. Present your observation informally. You can talk with your friends and request for the suggestion of your paper, suggestion of your research work. You are going to conduct the research, and developing the research. In such a situation, you can take many suggestions, many criticism also from your peers, from your juniors also. This will clear your clouds, whatever your confusion, that confusion can be cleared by your friends, maybe the senior, maybe the mentor, maybe the juniors. So that helps to clarify about your research work. So I already mentioned about the skeleton of an article, especially applied in the medical sector, in the health science sector. This IRT format is used. That introduction, what is this? What is the introduction? You have to clarify materials and methods, experimental procedures, what did you do, results, what did you find, and discussion, what does it mean? So in basically medical science, this format is widely used, but in social science, it may be different. And as per the journal, it may be also different. So before writing the introduction, we have to find out the topic also. How to find out the topic, how to select the topics. There may be the different way that may facilitate to select the suitable topic, better topic. So what is your area of interest? First of all, your area of interest should be determined, your personal experiences also, your expertism, in which area your expertism is there. You should clearly find out this area of interest, emerging issues or problem. What are the emerging or burning issues? In the current scenario, you have to identify the state of knowledge in the field, availability of the literature, whether the literature are enough or not. How can you collect the literature? Availability of data, either the primary sources or secondary sources. What are the resource constraints? You may have time constraint, budget constraints. So different constraints are there. Based on your constraints, you have to also confine your research work. Either the research is for the your PhD research or your master's research or research project, faculty granted research or the government research, or for what purpose you are going to write the research, doing the research. On the basis of these different perspective, there may be the cost, there may be the resource allocation. So by considering these aspects, you can find out the suitable or best topic. So title is the backbone of an article. So it should be very interesting. So every word in the title should describe about your research area. It may facilitate to describe your research area. So a title is very important part, and many attention of the readers depends upon how the title is you have developed. Either the title is catchy or not, that determines the interest of the readers. So it decides whether the article is worth reading or will get attention of the reader. So the title must be identify the subject matter of the paper. It should be linked with the subject matter. Generally, we select the title first, but in reality, in practical way, or in reality, we have to finalize the title at the last. However, we can develop roughly title at first, and on the basis of this title, we can conduct the research. But after completing the research, after developing the conclusion and introduction part, the final part is writing or developing the title. So while reading the research paper, title comes first. But while writing the paper, the title will be in the last. So whatever we conducted the research and we developed the findings or conclusion, then on the basis of this conclusion and introduction, we can provide the suitable title. So under the title, we have to narrow down the scope of the work, because if our title is very broad, very generalized, it is quite difficult to understand, and we have to make the title more specific, that is the narrow down. So title is very important content and main discoveries and attracts the readers. So it should be catchy title that every reader is going through the article by just seeing the title, they may be interested to read the article. If title is not catchy, title is not attractive, in such a situation, most of the reader may not go for the further reading. So while developing the title, you need to understand your topic. So along with the selection of the title, you should also studying reviews. Different review also should made simultaneously. You have to simultaneously do the literatures, collecting references, also attending conference or symposia on your topic. What are the related literatures from the conference, symposia, and other publications also you can find out as much as possible, and thinking what is it, what shall be the outcome, is it novel, is it a repetition of some previous work. So you have to clearly understood about your topic. And moreover, impact of article titles on the citation hits. Your title should hit the citation. If the title is very catchy, very interesting, then many authors, many readers will study your paper, and if they are satisfied, if the paper is qualitative, if the paper is very attractive, in such a situation, your citation also will be increased. So the impact of articles should hit the citation. So most published articles are not cited. The title play a vital role. So title is one of the component that play important role for the citation also. So construction of an article titles has a significant impact on citation frequency. You have to design the title in such a way that may attract the reader and the possibility of higher citation. So you have to think about this aspect. And by conducting a Thomas S. Jacobs and Neil J. Severs, there was a strong association between increasing little length and citation rate. If you increase the length of the title, not so lengthy, but little length, that may help to enhance the citation rate, because searching through the Google engine, Google Scholar, or other different searching engine, so they may find out your paper on the basis of keywords, on the basis of your title, and ultimately, if they feel that is good, then they may cite. So that ultimately helps to increase the citation. So there is positive association or a strong association between increasing title length and the citation rate. So the impact of the article titles on citation hits. Electronic sources are now preferred over the means, which include Science Finder, through the Science Finder, PubMed in medical sciences, PubMed engine. It is one of the searching engine, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, so many. So on the basis of these different searching engine, you can find out the paper if you beautifully design the title that helps to enhance the citation. So these sources are based on the little or keywords. So while searching these keywords, if your paper covers this area in such a situation, there is possibility of higher citations. So an effective title, what should be an effective title? According to Pitt et al., effective titles identify the main issue of the paper. What is the main issue of the paper that should cover by the title? Should reflect your study in one line. So that should convey the study, what the study is about. So title should convey these messages, and the title should be an accurate, unambiguous, concise, specific, and complete also. And moreover, do not contain abbreviations. Abbreviated words, unless they are well known, do not use the abbreviated words. For example, MFIs. So MFIs may not be well known to all people. NSE means National Stock Exchange of India, may not be familiar with all people. BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. So that types of abbreviative word should not be used in the title. These things you have to consider while developing an effective title. So I have pointed out few titles that have higher citation. This is paper that is capital structures in developing countries. This is one of the title. This article was published in Journal of Finance, one of the reputed journal in the management field, in the finance field, the Journal of Finance, top ranking journal, which was published by Ashley Demargue-Kuhn. She is the World Bank senior research economist, and the citation is made on this paper is about 4,000 times the citation is made. So you can see here. And at the same way, efficiency of financial institutions, international survey, and directions for the future research. This was also cited by 5,440 times. So this paper was published in the European Journal of Operational Research. So already published works. Another is Microfinance Creating Opportunities for the Poor. This is Academy of Management Prospective Journal. So these are few examples. So these while selecting the titles, we have to think about the broad aspect. So the title should be clear, concise, and should cover the issue of your research, as well as there is possibility of the higher citations. The reader should also think about the title is very interesting, very catchy, and they are interested to read the full papers. Okay, another published research paper, perceived usefulness of the microfinance intervention on health awareness and practices in Nepal. This paper was published in Frontiers in Public Health Journal in 2016. This is also Scopus Index Journal. So the paper, how the research paper, the title of the research paper should be developed. I have shown some examples. So another is our learning-based strategy for portfolio selection. So title should not be too long. In such a situation, the reader or the researcher may not be interested. So title should be designed in an effective way. And moreover, the keywords, including the title, the keywords also should be considered. So I have provided one questions here. You have written one question here. You have written an article on efficiently using solar cells. You are going to write an article about the using solar cell to power motor vehicles. In such a situation, which of the following is a suitable keyword for this article? Traditional, what may be the suitable keywords? Maybe traditional energy sources, alternative energy sources, solar energy, fuels. SPC means solar powered cell. What may be the effective keywords? Can you share your idea? Can you share your idea or maybe the right answer in the chat box? What may be the suitable keywords for this topic? You are going to write an article about the solar cells to power motor vehicle. In such a situation, there are many alternatives: traditional energy sources, alternative energy sources, solar energy, fuel, SPC. What may be the better? Can you share your idea in the chat box? Which may be the better here? I'm looking for your answer, your solar power, solar energy. Okay. Yes, the right answer is solar energy, because we are talking about the paper about the solar cells to power motor vehicles. So traditional energy sources, that is not good. Alternative energy sources, not appropriate. Fuels, not related also. SPC, that is abbreviated word. So solar energy may be the better keyword. So while we are writing the keywords, so we have to think about the what may be the suitable keywords for your research topic. So in this example, the solar energy is the right answer. So writing scientific abstract, we have to think about the writing an effective abstract for your paper is an essential skills. So effective abstract is another important matters after the titles. The second most read part of the manuscript after the title is abstract. So the readers or the number of researchers want to quickly read about the abstract, what abstract is, what the research is overall. It is one of the mini IMRAT format we discussed about. It is one of the mini IMRAT also. So the abstract may highlight the introductory part in 1 or 2 sentences, methodology part also, and the conclusion part also. So it is a most commonly read part. If abstract is good, abstract looks sounds, then further full paper, the researcher may read the full paper. Otherwise, they may not be interested to read the full paper. So the abstract is a key determinant in the reader decision to read the entire paper or not. That may determine. So we have to write the abstract very attractive way. So the editors and reviewer also are most likely to base their decision to accept to the manuscript, considering how well written and interesting your abstract is. So abstract decide about your paper quality also. We have to think about the abstract. So while writing abstract, there may be the specific guidelines or format as per the journal while writing the scientific abstract. However, it is an essential independent part of the paper, and there may be the word limit, maybe the 250 words, 200 words, 150 words, maybe defined by the guidelines of the journal. It should be clear, concise, and to the point. Limit use of abbreviation also. We have to minimize the abbreviation in the abstract, and usually it is written last. While reading the abstract, we read first. In the position also, in the structure also, it is at the beginning part of the research paper. However, while developing the abstract, it is usually written in the last, and consult the journal for instruction for writing the abstract. So we have to follow the guidelines of the journals. What is the specific guidelines about the abstract? We have to think about this perspective. So the process of writing, building the article, while writing and building the article, we have to follow this bottom line approach. While reading aspect or while designing the article, there may be the first title. While reading, there is, or in the research paper, there is the title, abstract, keywords, and this aspect. But while developing the research paper, we have to, first of all, we have to, based on your title, you have roughly developed the title. And on the basis of this title, you have to collected the data, and you have to develop the figure and tables on the basis of analysis of the data. And after that, you have to clarify about the methods, methodology parts. Then you have to write the results. You have to write the discussion, and you have to write the conclusion. And finally, you have to write the introduction. So, and at last, you have to develop the title, abstract, and the keywords. So this is the situations while building the paper articles, because the introduction part and title, abstract part is written at last. Based on the conclusion, you have to interconnect your introduction with conclusion. So it should start from your data, and go to methodology part, write the methodology part, then write about the result. On the basis of methodology part, you analyzed, and you can develop the findings, research finding, you can write the results, and after results, you can discuss about your result. You can interpret your result in the discussion section. Then on the basis of discussion and result, you can develop the conclusion, and after conclusion, only you can write the introduction. And while writing the introduction, you can cite many papers, you can do the literatures, you can include many citation also, and finally you have to develop the final topic. However, you can determine the topic or title, roughly you can develop, but final title may be different. Your previous title may be changed, and based on the introduction and based on the conclusion, you can write your title and abstract and keywords. So this is about the process of writing or building an article. In reality, in practical way, we are not following these steps, this approach. We develop the title, and we write the introduction, and we do the literatures and methods, results, discussion, and finally conclusion. We develop in such a way. But in reality, in the practicability approach, this is essential. This is the important process while writing or building the article. So just for this, I would like to just check your understanding process of building an article. I have given the blank space here, and where to put this different, here is different informations, introduction, where we have to keep figure tables, where we have to keep title, abstract, keywords, where we have to keep on the basis of logical order, where we have to write the first. So I already mentioned here, you can see this figure, and just this is for your understanding. So the what is your understanding about the building an article? So you can just check out this process, and the same process you can follow here. Okay. So writing scientific abstract is basically the what editors or readers expect. We have to address the expectation of the readers, expectation of the reviewers, because reviewers read your paper very thoroughly. Okay, reviewers read your paper very thoroughly and give many comments also, many suggestions, many feedback also. So the full paper is read by the reviewer as well as reader also may read, and editors also. So while writing the scientific abstract, it should be short. The abstract should be soft, short, self-contained, and powerful summary of an article or the paper. Powerful summary. It should be a powerful summary. It should be very short and self-contained. So the abstract comprises one paragraph, only one paragraph summary of the whole paper. You have to summarize the whole paper about the background, summary of your entire study in a paragraph about the background, about the rationale, why you are going to do this, why you conducted this research, what are the key methods, results, and conclusion. Here, discussion part is not included. In the abstract, the discussion part is not included, results and conclusion. So in other parts, in IRT format also, there is a discussion, but in abstract, there is no discussion. What are the key methods you applied, what are the results, and what may be the conclusion. So that should be mentioned in the abstract. So it is one of the mini IRT format. I already mentioned it is one of the mini IRT format. Here in IRT, introduction, method, results, and discussion, but discussion is not included in the abstract. So only these 3 points, introduction, methods, and results are included in the abstract. So it is one of the mini IRT format, contains background, rationale, key methods, results, conclusion. So it is usually 1 to 2 sentences for each section. 1 to 2 sentences for introduction, 1 to 2 sentences for methods, and 1 to 2 sentences for result. By considering the requirement of the journal, it may not be more than 250 words. So the introduction, next important part is about the introduction. Introduction is about the brief background of information of the current study. So what is your focus of the study? Why this study is more relevant? What is the rationale behind your study? What is the relevance of your research? That should be, you have to highlight it in the introductory part. It should cover the sufficient context and background for the reader to understand and evaluate the paper. So it is an integrated review of pertinent work also, updated literature citation also. You have to make updated literature citation. While doing the review of the paper, in some paper, we cannot find the updated literature. We are writing the paper and we are going to publish. Currently, in such a situation, we have to incorporate the paper from the 2020, 2021, like that. But if you are only included the literature of 2015, 16, that may not be updated. In such a situation, the reviewer may comment, update your literature citation. So you have to include the updated literature citation. Should not be too long. Introduction part should not be also too long. So importance of current study. What is your importance of current study? Advancement needed, summary of new findings. So while doing the literature also, there are three types of reality also. We have to remember that there are three types of reality in the literature. One reality is actual reality that comes from the multiple sources of literature. So actual reality may be there. Another reality is the presumed reality, which comes from the mind of the researcher. That is called presumed reality. And last one is observed reality. Observed reality comes from the analysis part. While you analyze the data through software, SPSS or whatever, you can analyze the data, and on the basis of this analysis part, you can find out the observed reality. So there are three types of reality. One is actual reality. Another is presumed reality. Presumed means in the mind of the researcher, researcher may develop some reality, and another is actual reality. Actual reality or the actual reality, presumed reality, and observed reality. Observed reality comes from the analysis part. So the literature review process helps try to capture the actual reality, what the previous researcher has done. So we have to update the literature citation, so the literature should be updated. So you can see about the introduction part. While writing the introduction, you should care about this research. This research is important. Why this research is important? Why you are interested to do this research? What may be the novelty? So that you try to find out this answer while writing the introduction part. What is already known about topic? So the literature. What is known about the topic means previous researcher, what they did. So you have to try to cover the actual reality from the previous researcher, and you have to try to update up to date this literature. What's not known about the topic, what may be the gap, you have to find out the gap, research gap, and you have to address this research gap. Why important to learn this new information and the research aim. So these things you have to consider while writing the introductory part. So introduction is the, you have to ask question to yourself that why should anyone read your paper? Why anyone is interested to read your paper? So you have to clarify in introduction part to the reader, to the researcher, why they are going to read your paper. So create a research space. There may be the gap, so you have to create a research space, and the reader or the researcher may be interested to read your paper. So significance, it should introduce the topic and relate to the existing research. Significance of research, what is your significance of research, and capture your audience. Why is this study and findings are important? So you have to try to capture while writing the introductory part. This is one of the important aspects, and you have to give enough citation also, enough citation in the introductory part. While writing the introductory part, you have to give the enough citations, and there may be the debate on the issue. The debate may be there may be the debate. Some researcher may be the positive about the arguments, and some researcher may be the against the argument. In such a situation, there may be the debate also. If there is debate, you can also discuss about this debate and supported by the enough citation that may enhance the strong research paper. So understanding introduction, I would like to ask one question to you, that you are sending a paper to a publisher. For example, you are going to send a paper to the publisher. The paper is on the effects of coffee on sleep patterns of men across age group. the effect of copy on sleeping pattern of the men across the age group. So paper is about this. You reuse the introduction section from your previous article. Is this acceptable? This is one of the questions that you have already published this related paper, and you are going to develop another paper in such a situations. Can you use the introduction section from your previous article? Is this acceptable? Is this good practice or not? So what can you see about this? Yes, exactly, no. Okay, good. So no, we cannot apply our introduction part that already we have written. So introductory part should be new. We have to generate new introduction part. Already our paper is related this, and again we are doing copy from the introductory part. This is not the good practice. So you have to think about this aspect. Another part is methodology part. Methodology part should be detailed, should be in depth, in detail. So how the results are obtained, we have to think about the methodology part and the research design, how to design the research. So what may be the sources of the data, what may be the sampling techniques, what methodology we can use. We have to clarify, because that should be a very vague part. So we have to clarify about this aspect while writing the methodology. What is your sampling technique also? What are the sources of data, and how you can analyze the data? The research is about the exploratory or descriptive or explanatory. What is about your research? Maybe the experimental or case study, qualitative, quantitative, what types of study you are doing? That should be also clarified while doing the methodology part. So I will show you the process of empirical research. You have to define, starting from here, define research problem and objective. Every research started from the research objective and research problem and objectives. Then you have to build the theoretical framework and the research model, and then develop hypothesis, different research hypothesis, and develop operational definition of different variables also. You have to define the variables, and sampling design, data collection, data coding and editing part, testing hypothesis. You have to test with the help of the different tools also, and you have to interpret the data. And finally, if the research is inductive, then you have to develop the theory. So this is one of the process of the research methods you have to apply in the methodology section. It is the main body of the research also. So methodology part should be very clear about what may be the respondents, how you are selecting the sample size, so many issues. Maybe there you have to address these under the methodology section. So the research design may be exploratory research designs, research design, focus about what is happening to seek new insight. So your research is about the exploratory or descriptive research design, or explanatory. Explanatory is helps to establish causal relationship between the variables. So what types of research you are doing? Descriptive only, or exploratory, or explanatory? Explanatory establish the causal relationship between the variables. So you have to clarify these things. And you may be familiar about the research union. We have no enough time to explain about this. I have brought this figure from the book of Saunders et al. That was published in 2008. And this is the very clear picture about the research. There is philosophy. On the basis of philosophy, there may be the positivism, realism, interpretism, pragmatism. What type of philosophy you are doing? What are the approaches? Deductive or inductive approach you are applying? What are the strategy? Strategy may be experiment, maybe survey, maybe case study, maybe action research, maybe grounded theory. Grounded theory is another types of research in which especially it is related to the qualitative aspect of the research and building the theory. It takes lots of time. So the grounded theory, maybe ethnography, maybe archival research, maybe different strategy. You have to clarify about the research union. I will not discuss about detail about the research union because it takes a separate session if we talk about the research union. So my focus is about the research design, how to clarify about the methodology part and the research method, how to clarify maybe the exploratory research design, maybe the descriptive research design, maybe the explanatory research design. So you should clarify about these and you should understand about the research union also. And the next important part is the results. So the after the data presentations we analyze the data, then we find the results. So it is about the research findings. We can find different activities. So it is based on just the facts. It should be based on the facts. What is your research objectives? That on the basis of research objective, every research objective you can address with the help of the methodology part, and you can analyze the results in the result section. So describe but do not interpret the major finding. Here you just describe. Interpretation part is made in the discussion section. So results and discussion is quite different. In results we just describe, we just analyze the findings, research finding. Do not hide important data. Present the data using graph and table. Wherever required, you can use the graph and table also. Integrate visuals with text also if there is any visuals, any any image also, you can also visualize this. This is about the result section, which is the based on your hypothesis, your objective, you have to analyze here. So result is another important part. And then next is discussion part. Discussion part and results is quite different. I think you may be familiar about the results and discussion. Discussion is the interpretation of the results. Once you find the results or research findings, then you further interpret about your results. So it is quite a difficult part to writing the discussion and result section and discussion and conclusion also. So this is your chance to demonstrate your ability to synthesize, analyze, evaluate, interpret, and reason effectively. So you have to give the logical arguments about these things. So your reader are looking for well-supported opinion also. You should also mention about the well-supported opinions, and you can compare also the published results with your research. What other research are made, you can make the comparison also. So it is one of the important part of the research. And in discussion part, it is like a mini synopsis also. You can mention about restate main finding. You can develop or you can highlight the restate of main findings, and you can discuss about the significance and its importance. You can compare the results, what may be the pathways, what may be the strength and limitations. Strength and limitations may be discussed in conclusion section also in public health researches, but in some researches also we can discuss about in the discussion section about the strength and limitations and impact and application of research. This also may be explained in the conclusion section. What is the impact, what is the implication of the research, and suggestion of further work. It may be highlighted in the conclusion section also. So there may be what may be the difference results versus discussion. So results include experiment data, that is the research finding, but not the interpretation. Here interpretation is not made, just analysis of the research finding. But here in discussion we can interpret our results. So it is incorporate statistical analysis where applicable. We have to apply the statistical figure facts, but it is list of all the major findings of your study. Another is follow sequential organizational When presenting data, here is interpret and explain the findings effectively. So this is about the key differences between results and discussion. After the results, on the basis of the results, we can discuss the paper to make our paper more strong, more strength, because we can compare the results with other previous researcher, we can interpret the results, so in the discussion section. And finally, we can write the conclusion. So finally, we have to go to the conclusion. It is summarize our main idea and reinforce it with the final thought. So it helps to generalize what is the general things, generalize on the best of the research finding, we can develop the conclusion. So it is the answer, it is the process of answering the research objectives in conclusion, in a as a final thoughts. It summarizes the entire research in brief and connected with the research objectives, answering the research objectives. So present global and specific conclusion may be there, indicate uses and extension if appropriate, suggest future experiment and indicate whether they are underway or not. So this is the summarized part of the finding, and in this section also we can give the suggestion to the policy maker for the policy implication, and further research also if there is recommendations for the further researcher, we can also mention about the further research, we can conduct the further research. There may be the separate section also, but in generally conclusion section, we can also mention about the further research. We have some limitations while doing the research. In such a situation, we may suggest for the further research. And the next part is the acknowledgement part. The acknowledgement are given at the end of the paper. So we have to give the acknowledgement where we have used the different sources of funding agency provide many funds for conducting research. So in such a situation, we have to acknowledge. Also, we have to acknowledge to the different intellectual personality, different researcher, our mentor, or other different people or participants who have directly or indirectly contributed in your research. You have to acknowledge them. So it is the ethics of the research. If you have not acknowledged to them, so this may not be good for your research work. And then revision and proofreading, we have to make revision because we have just prepared the first draft, and there may be the many errors, many errors, grammatical errors, many incomplete. So make sure that all authors read. If there are many authors, all the authors should read the first draft, and we have to correct it. So proofreading, all authors in the proofreading process, all authors should participate. Okay, so grammar and spelling errors may be there. We have to correct the grammar and spelling error. We have reduce the jargon or technical terms. If there is problems in the technical terms, also we have to check. So we have to check spelling, grammar, punctuations, and different other problems in the research paper. To avoid the jargon and prefer use terms, for example, a considerable amount of, if we write this term, this word, we can write directly much only on account of, because you have to avoid the jargon words and prefer use term you have to use as possible. So the responsibility of author from preparation of manuscript submission, while submission of the manuscript by the authors may have some responsibilities. We have to check before submission whether our paper is new and original research or not. Is it really interesting? It has a new interesting finding. It has really new contribution to the concerned field. We have to clarify, we have to identify, and manuscript have been checked by all the listed authors. All the authors should involve to check the errors, obtain copyright permission if figures, tables need to be reproduced. proper affiliations also, the researchers affiliation also should be mentioned, acknowledgement also should be made. This is the responsibilities of author while preparing of manuscript in the process of submission. Another, you are familiar about the references part also. We have to make enough citation also inside the text. We have to make the enough citation. If we are failed to cite, there may be the charge of plagiarism. So we have to think about the enough citation. Reference citation must be accurate and complete as per the format, maybe the APA style or Harvard style or MLA style or Vancouver style, whatever prescribed in the journal. We have to apply as per the guidelines, read the references and use correct style for the format, and be careful about there is difference between references and bibliography. So in research paper, you have to use the term references, not the bibliography, okay? And checklist for manuscript quality, whether your manuscript is quality, in terms of quality, the guidelines has been followed of the journals or not. Different checklist may be there. While submission of the journal, you have to check your list whether you have to follow these guidelines or not. So these are many things you can study about this, and it may vary from the journal to journal. The checklist may be vary from journal to journal. So after final submission, you have to check the manuscript checklist. You have to checklist from the different perspective. And another part is the developing and publishing a research paper, is the publishing or research paper. How to publish a research paper? So there may be the number of questions that why to publish a research paper? Why to publish a research paper? This is a crucial question. I already mentioned also that there are what are your personal reasons for publishing? Get degree for the academic requirement, or get promotion, or get funding, or whatever. What may be the reasons? So most of the research are either for the academic degree or getting the promotion to enhance your API, academic profile index. So you have to clarify about these different reasons, requirement for being valuable brand, or to get reward or award. Reward and award may be the difference. Reward for to getting incentives, and award for maybe to get a special prize also. If you do the thorough research, good research, and on the basis of the research, on the basis of new findings, every year Nobel Prize also will be awarded in different sector, in the economics, in the other sector, science, medicine, like that. So award is for the academic degree also, for PhD degree also, award purpose or special prize purposes. This is award. Reward means only for incentives. So what may be the personal reason for publishing? To be recognized, to disseminate knowledge, or it gives you an academic profile, or whatever. What may be the reason? You should, first of all, you should determine your writing of the paper and why you are going to publish the paper. So what to publish in such a situation? You have to consider about the new and originality or not. In your research, is there new things, new interesting thing? Is there originality? If this situation is there, then it helps to publish the paper. Otherwise, you cannot publish your paper in good journal. So do not consider to publish results with lack of sufficient interest, outdated work you cannot publish, duplication of work already published. So you have to think about this incorrect data, manipulated data, incorrect data, and conclusion not supported by data. These things you have to consider. This is not under the ethics of the research also. And research paper publication, where we have to publish? This is another crucial question. Look for academic respectability. You have to find out the academic respectability. What is the journal? The journal is really reputed or not? You have to find out the journal is reputed or not. There may be maybe the predatory journal. You have to find out and do not submit your valuable research paper in predatory journal. So you have to find out the reputed journal. In different fields, there may be different journals. So you have to find out old journal versus new journal, established versus young researcher. Look for impact factor rating also. What is the impact factor of this journal? Different things you can consider, and on the basis of this information, you can publish your paper. So how to publish a research paper? Another crucial things about the how to publish a research paper. So this is about the submission process. Read the finalized paper carefully. You have developed your paper, and you have developed your draft, and you have made proofreading many times, and finally the paper is ready for the publication. Then read again the finalized paper carefully, check the accuracy of figure and caption, get feedback from advisor also. You can discuss your paper with the advisor, colleagues, juniors, and they may also suggest, may provide the feedbacks. If possible, you can present this paper in conference, seminar, and you get many ideas, many comments, many feedbacks from the participants, research scholar, and distinguished professor also may provide suggestion in such. By considering this suggestion, you can also address your paper, and it may help to improve your quality of the paper. And finally, you provide a cover letter to the editor. As per the guidelines of the journal, you have to prepare a cover letter, and you have to have all co-authors approve the finalized version of the paper and submit the paper online along with copyright form. There may be the guidelines of the submission of the journal that may vary from the journal to journal. So by considering these guidelines, you can submit your paper. So key elements of publishing. While publishing, there may be the ethical issue. You have to consider about the ethical issue. Style and language is appropriate or not as per the guidelines of the journal. Structure of paper as per the guidelines or not. Components of the paper is, you have to also think what format is there. Article submission, journal selection, what type of journal you are going to select. Based on your quality of the paper, you can select the journal. If your paper is not enough quality in such a situation, there is possibility of rejection. So based on your paper quality, you have to select your journal also, publisher process, peer review process. So these elements we have to consider. Okay, then article submission, select your journal carefully, read the aims and scope. What is the aims and scope of the journal? These things you have to follow. Guidelines also you have to follow. Think about your target audience and the level of your work. Do you have realistic chance of being accepted or rejected? Whatever you can think about this aspect. And author priorities for journal selection. For example, elsewhere, there may be the key determining factors. Impact factor may be reputation of the journal, access to the target audience, overall editorial board standard. What is the standard of the board member? Publication speed, how many times does it take to publish? International coverage, open access also. So qualifying factor also, experiencing as a referee, track record, different factors you have to consider while publishing your paper. So after submission also, you have to think. Most journal editors will make an initial decision on the paper to review or reject. So initial decision you may get. So most editors appoint 2 referees, generally 2 referees, sometimes maybe the 3 referees or many more. So referring speed varies tremendously between the journal, and authors should receive decision of accept or accept with revision or reject. There may be the possibility of accept without any feedback. If the paper have no any comments, so accept, or accept with revision, maybe the minor revision or major revision, or maybe the reject. So if a paper is rejected, most editor will write some reasons why your paper rejected. They may give explanation, and you have to again resubmit your paper. You don't be hopeless or don't be nervous if the paper is rejected. You can there is a chance to improve your paper because there is some shortcoming in the paper. So you can have enough scope to improve your quality of the paper, and you can submit in the next journal also. So remember, point to remember, feeling proud that you have 100 published paper. Think again whether the journal is prestigious or not. One paper in a prestigious journal is much more worthy than too many papers in lesser journals. So try to publish your paper in the prestigious journal, Scopus Index journal. You are familiar about the impact factor also. I think you are very familiar about the impact factors. So these we have to consider about the impact factor of the journal selection for the authors. You have to think about impact factor, reputation or quality, prestige, access to target audience or specialization, overall editorial standard, publication speed. These things you have to consider while selecting the journal. So what are the high impact factor journal? Impact factor of journal is the frequency of citation. High impact factor journal are the ones which have high frequency of citation by the authors. I already mentioned about the senior World Bank research economist. She has more than 1 lakh citation, more than 1 lakh citations. That enhances the academic integrity, academic quality also. So we have to think about how the citation can be increased also. So we have to select the good journal. And the last part is the research ethics and expectation. Research ethics, we have to follow as a researcher, we have to follow certain research ethics and what the expectation of the editorial board or what the expectation of the reviewer. So we have to think about this aspect. So publication ethics is very essential. We have to take the ethical approval. There may be the ethical review board, especially in medical science or health related research. We have to take the ethical permissions from the ethical institutional review committee. Maybe in the Indian context, maybe that is the Indian Council of Medical Research. If we are going to do the research, we have to take ethical approval from the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research. So there may be the certain institutions we have to take the ethical approval, but in social science, that provision may not be mandatory. But in health science or medical science researches, this is the mandatory. We have to take the ethical permission from the concerned institutions. So ethics in publication, maybe the falsification and data alternation. We have to think there should not be any falsification or data alteration. Should think about the plagiarism. You are familiar about the plagiarism. So plagiarism is a serious issue, so that we have to avoid it through the appropriate citation, enough citation. Wherever required, we have to give the enough citation. Don't copy the other things as your own. So duplicate manuscript, we have to remove these practices. Unnecessary self-citation also, we have to remove these practices. And the redundant publication, we have to don't terminate or don't look for terminated publications. Author conflict of interest, there may be the author conflict of interest, so there should not be any conflict of interest. So plagiarism, you know about the plagiarism. I think I need not to explain about the plagiarism. It is one of the academic offense in which you represent someone else's idea, someone else's words or idea as your own. So we can avoid this by referencing, by citation. Adequate citation and referencing is required. So we have to think about this issue. And ethical issue, disclosure of conflict of interest, you have to clarify your conflict of interest. Acknowledgement of funding sources also, you have to clarify where you are getting funding, where you have any contribution of the different intellectual. You can never forget to give the acknowledgement. Online submission also, you have to think certain formalities, rules, regulations. So in health science research, clinical trials, if there are clinical trials, you have to submit the clinical trials also in detail. some organization may demand your statistical data, your analysis part. You have to provide these statistical data and analysis part also in detail. So they may check. So this is the ethics of the researcher. If the journal publisher or the reviewer may demand, in such a situation, you have to provide. So how important citation are? Citation is very important. So you can see here, I was published a couple of years ago in a crap journal and nobody is citing. But here you can see I was published recently in good journal and I am getting lots of citation. So citation is very important things. So how you can enhance the citations, this is another important part. So what peer reviewers and editors want? This is the last crucial questions peer reviewers and editors want. So we submit our paper to the editorial boards. Editor may assessment, reject or revise, send to reviewer. They may also send our paper to the reviewer. Reviewer reply to editors. Editor decision also that maybe accept, reject or revise. Back to you again, revised version, and later editor may revert to reviewers. So there is a certain process in the review process. So review process is the checking by the paper, because they read your paper very thoroughly. Many shortcomings are there. They may provide comments. So it helps to enhance the quality of the papers. So this is the overview of the peer review process: paper submission, confirmation of the receipt, initial decision by the editorial board, rejection, or decide to review. Then you can go assign different reviewers, maybe 2, 3. Reviewer accept invite, review is completed, and it may be revised, maybe accept, maybe reject. So this is the general process. I think you are familiar about this process. So criteria for acceptance, there may be the originality. If your paper is originality, there may be the criteria for acceptance, and experimental design and methodology has been clearly mentioned. Research data representation, depth of the investigation, thorough and logical discussion of the result. If these attributes are there, then in such a situation, there is a possibility of the acceptance of the paper. But rejection of the paper, the study is just confirmation of previous research, nothing new, not novelty, poor experimental design, targeted journal is not suitable, poor writing, poor presentation. In such a situation, your paper may be rejected. So who takes the decision either to accept or reject? Maybe the editor-in-chief, associate editor, reviewer may take decision, reviewer 1, reviewer 2, maybe 3, and sometimes statistical consultant. They may consult to the statistician, and on the basis of their feedback also, the decision may be taken. So different authorities of the editorial board as well as reviewer and statistical consultant may decide whether to paper accept or not. So remember, 2 reasons your paper are rejected, your paper are rejected. There may be the 2 reasons. One is content is not good enough, the quality of the paper is not good enough. Another is format, you have not developed, your paper is very qualitative, but you have not developed the good format as per the guidelines of the journal. So you have to think about 2 specific issues, that is content as well as format. So this is the recap of the recap. Whatever we discussed, this is the recap components of the paper. That is the title, authors. Title clearly describe contents, authors, ensure recognition for the writers. Abstract describe what was done. Keywords also you need to mention. Introduction parts, explain the problems. What is the rationale of the study? What is the significance? What is the novelty? Methods also explain how the data were collected. Results describe what was discovered. Discussion, enough discussion also should be made. Acknowledgement, references, and at last appendices means supplementary part. Also you can provide appendix 1, 2 like that. So this is about the overview of the components of the paper and the process of research and its publication. This is the overview. that this is another recap, that is completion of the research. You have made the plan of the research, conducted research, and completion of the research. Then you go to prepare the manuscript, and after you develop the manuscript, and then you can submit the manuscript, and assignment and peer reviewer are also there. Peer reviewer may decide rejection or revision. Then you can resubmission by incorporating different comments addressed by reviewer 1, reviewer 2, and then paper is acceptance or rejection. If paper is rejection, then you need to find another journal, suitable journal. So if paper is accepted, then it will go for the publications. So this is the process of research and its publications. And finally, there is no way to get experience except through experience, because it is learning by doing. We have to face many difficulties, many problems, many rejection also. So we have to be patient. We have to search. We have to develop our quality of the papers, and we have to follow the guidelines of the journals. Then only we can achieve our goal. Our goal is to publish the paper in the better journal. So this is all about this, all about my presentations, and enjoy the journey. All the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. That was really vast, full of knowledge and to how one can really proceed. Now, participants, we can have a discussion session if you really would like to speak to the speaker. Sir, please, we have few messages in the chat box. So,
okay, ma'am. Okay, one question is about the UGC. Please request regarding where good UGC care list, journal address, social sciences. So UGC, there is some UGC have clearly defined about the journals. The journals has been approved because there may be the high chances of predatory journals. So UGC have mentioned about these predatory journals. So in social science, we can find out the Scopus Index journals, mostly Scopus Index or SCI Mago journal also. So we have to consider about the whether the journal is really real or not, because many fake journals we can see there. So we can check our journal is in the journal is real or not. You can find out the list of the predatory journal. So try to remove the predatory journal and focus about the Scopus Index or index in different journals, maybe the Springer, maybe the Elsevier, maybe the Taylor and Francis, maybe the college or university journals is also good. But there are maybe some fake journals. Their purpose is only collecting funds. Their target is only collecting funds. They may not have editorial board also in this journal. They may not have a special contact number also. In such a situation, be careful about this issue. So UGC have also focused about this issue. Another is why UGC not allowed faculty to faculty of private technical institutions to provide guidance to research scholar. I think the UGC, what is the provision of UGC in the Nepalese context? UGC has provided the fund, research fund also to the private colleges, public colleges, and constituent or government colleges. There is no discriminations. So the UGC provide funds to the private colleges faculty as well as public college and the constituent college. But what may be the practices in the India, I'm not clear about this, but it should incorporate to the faculty of the private technical institution also.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Venugopal speaking.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Sir, this is regarding providing guidance by the qualified people working in private institutions also competently eligible to provide guidance to the scholars. Why only?
The common facts of study and products of research.
Why only to university people or constituent people are allowed? Is not discrimination, sir?
Yes, this is discrimination. So that type of practices should be avoided because every faculty members have equal role. Whatever they are working in government organization, public organization, and private organization, they are contributing for the society. They are contributing for the nation. So that types of practices should be avoided.
The result is unethical practices are coming up, sir. Unethical practices are likely to come up.
Yes, of course, of course. So the policy maker should suggest to the government, and that should be addressed by the government and policy maker.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Professor, I am Nityanand Ghosh from Loyola Academy, Physics Department, Chemical Technology.
Okay, sir.
You have given a nice talk on how to develop and publish paper. My question is same on that predatory journal. There are so many complaints and retracts found on Scopus index journals because of the predatory journals index on popular indexing services such as Scopus. So I want to ask Professor, is there any mechanism that exists to prevent these issues, and how we can identify the predatory publishing on Scopus, and why are government authorities unable to put a stop to this predatory journal publishing? Can you just enlighten on this, Professor? Thank you.
Okay, very nice question, very interesting question you have asked. So this is we are in the beginning of the process, because predatory journal practices, we have to find out these practices, searching and addressing these practices is very new, not so old. From 2008, I think it has been started by the Colorado, the library, and this mechanism have been developed. So in such a situation, we have to, this issue is very pertinent, very relevant. So, the different, maybe the Google engine or search engine may have been developed. So first of all, the researcher, the faculty members, researchers should be aware about the predatory journal, whether it is predatory or not. Most of us, I think more than 70% or 80% maybe, we are not familiar about the predatory journal. So we have to familiar about the predatory journal. If the journal has no contact number, no good editorial board, and they are published without any review, peer review, and quick publications is made in such a situation, and the money is more money is demanding in such a situation, we have to be careful and we have to check whether this is predatory or not. So our fund, our efforts will be worthless in such a situation, and our contribution will be also worthless in such a situation. So we have to check, and first of all, we have awareness regarding this, and there may be many searching engine. Through the searching engine, we have to check out whether it is predatory or not, and based on this, we have to select the best or suitable journals. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Professor has given us an enlightening insight on developing and publishing a research paper. The presentation truly contributed towards understanding the 4 distinct steps in orienting oneself: knowledge creation, defining research questions, reviewing previous research, and choosing relevant data to formulate, showing us the main difference between the inductive and deductive types of theory, providing a description on how to write a scientific paper and proceed to worthy and valuable publication in reputed journals. We participants had a great learning this afternoon. On behalf of our entire management group, I thank you, Professor, for gracing the session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to meet with all of you, and I am very indebted to Loyola Academy and its family, and I am thankful to all the faculty members and participants also. Thank you so much.
We are blessed to get interacted with you, sir.
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. Okay.
To move on, participants, learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Moving towards concluding the 5-day International Faculty Development Program, I offer my sincere gratitude to the Almighty for thy support throughout the program and took us on the next level of improvisation. Starting with a comprehensive overview, I request Dr. Vijayalakshmi, Dean of Science and Research Committee, the convener of the program, to present the report. Thank you, ma'am. Please take over.
Good afternoon, one and all. This faculty development program on innovative research techniques aims to inculcate and enhance the ability of faculty members to carry out independent research, to write successful research projects, and finally to enable them for research-oriented technical communication. Lectures were given by the experts on fundamental aspects of research topic selection, literature review, planning of research, project proposal writing, and research paper writing. Apart from that, hands-on practice also enabled participants to grasp the content methodology. While designing the structure of program, it was kept in mind to cater the faculty from different backgrounds. The FDP has following objectives: to learn and gain deeper understanding on the various research methods and data analytical tools, to develop a good knowledge based on professional style for scholarly writing, to learn research ethics and publishing scope. The program was registered by 580 participants. 19 participants were different countries like Zambia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Maldives, Singapore, Oman, and UK. 145 participants were from different states of India, and all our faculty of Loyola Academy were benefited through this program. Participants included research scholars and academicians from varied backgrounds. On day 1, the program was inaugurated by Father Dr. L. Joji Reddy SJ, and inaugural address was given by Mr. PVR Sai Prasad, IQAC coordinator, and Dr. K. Rama, Dean of Academics. The keynote address was given by Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy, Registrar, Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. Professor congratulated the organizing committee members for conducting this international FDP, and he focused mainly on corporate social responsibility and academic social responsibility Then Dr. K. Vijayalakshmi presented a brief report on research committee activities and about Faculty Development Program. After proposing the vote of thanks by Dr. P. Suchitra Naidu, Associate Dean of Academics, the technical session started at 3 p.m. by Dr. A. Anand Kumar, Associate Professor, St. Eugene University, Lusaka, Zambia. Professor has briefed the structure of research paper and directed the participants how to check the plagiarism of the research articles. On day 2, Dr. H.P. Rani, Associate Professor from NIT Warangal, has focused on educating the beginners towards research. A detailed insight with much practical approach was laid by the speaker throughout the session. Topics like generation of research topic, finding out research problem, study of research background, research hypothesis, peer-reviewed journal publishing, project funding, plagiarism, etc. were brought into light with lively project inferences. On day 3, 28th of August, Professor Dr. Leena Jennifer, Associate Professor, Weltech Rangarajan, Dr. Seguntala R&D Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai, has given insights of innovative research techniques. Professor has explained how the SPSS software is used for various data analysis for social sciences. She also emphasized on importance of empirical analysis in Scopus publications. On the same day, second session was taken by Dr. Varanasi Madhusudan Prasad, Professor of Management, College of Business Administration, Al-Emama University, Riyadh. And he has explained the purpose of choosing a research topic and research methodology, how to go about and how to publish the papers also. On day 4, Dr. K. Kavita, Department of Mathematics, BVRIT Hyderabad Engineering College for Women, delivered a talk on the art of writing research projects. Madam explained how one can proceed to write a project, the procedures, moving towards the submission and approaching the funding agency. Second talk was given by Dr. K. Bhavanarayana, Professor, Pendekanti Institute of Management, and also President AGBA South India, enlightened the participants on various innovative research techniques. Professor has given a very clear and overall eye view covering the 360 degrees of research methodology. Professor has used a very new concept of presenting, which was very impressive. At the end of every session, there was a question and answer session. All the speakers have cleared all the doubts raised by the participants. On day 5, Dr. Bharat Ram, Associate Professor, School of Business, Pokhara University, Nepal, has focused on developing and publishing a research paper. With this is the report of this 5 days FDP. Dear participants, I hope you have all benefited out of this 5-day International Faculty Development Program on innovative research techniques. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to express my tremendous gratitude to Father Principal, Dr. L. Joji Reddy, for helping us mobilize the entire event and making the FDP a great success. The great aim to continuously acquire knowledge was very well demonstrated by the participants throughout this FDP. I request Dr. Ratnavani ma'am, Dean of Arts, to present the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please take over.
Yes, am I audible, ma'am? Am I audible? Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, one and all present here. I'm Dr. Ratnavani, privileged Dean of Arts, privileged to propose vote of thanks on behalf of organizing committee of this 5-day international FDP program. First of all, we would like to thank Almighty God for helping us to conduct this program in this way without any interruption. And as since 5 days, as you've been listening, our college, Loyola Academy, PG and UG College, which is in Hyderabad, run by an international Catholic institution, a Society of Jesus. The management members of this society are known as Jesuits. Our Jesuit fathers are doing great service in the field of education and research. So I would like to thank our chief patrons who has completely supported in every aspect, especially financially, full support they have given us, and morally they supported, they are our backbone in organizing this program. So I would like to thank Reverend Father Amar Rao, SJ, the superior of our institution, Reverend Father Dr. Emmanuel, our correspondent, Reverend Father Dr. L. Joji Reddy, our beloved principal, Reverend Father Anand Kumar, our vice principal for PG sections. I thank our Reverend Father Anil Kumar, vice principal for UG sections, for their constant support throughout this program of this FDP. And especially I want to place on record about the support and the encouragement of our principal father, whose heart always with the research. Because of him, today we are able to do this kind of programs, which is beneficial for the young researchers and all. So we thank you, Father, for your constant support and encouragement to conduct this kind of research-oriented programs. Thank you, Father. So as we all know, no event will happen without the provision of a vast network of people, especially these kind of academic works. In these 5 days international FDP program, in all sessions, eminent professors from various countries as well as within the country, they contributed their ideas to the participants. So I place on record my gratitude and appreciation for all of them by name. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy, Registrar Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad, for his keynote address. On the same day, day first, we have Dr. A. Anand Kumar, Associate Professor, Department of Management and Commerce from St. Egina University, Zambia, who spoke on the tips of research paper, how to improve your research manuscript and all. Thank you, sir, for your enlightenment on the paper's tip. I also thank on the day 2 speakers, Professor Dr. H.P. Rani, Associate Professor, National Institute of Technology, Warangal. For her, she has thrown a light on the contemporary approaches in the research and principles in project proposals. Ma'am also has given us the list of funding agencies to the young researchers to find out from where they can get the funding and all to do their works. So thank you, ma'am, for your enlightenment. And I also thank Professor Dr. Lina Jennifer, Associate Professor, Weltech University from Chennai. Ma'am spoke on innovative research techniques. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing very nice PPTs with all of us. Dr. Varanasi Prasad, Professor of Management College from Al-Emma University, Riyadh. Sir, we are so much thankful to you for purpose of research topics, how to take up the papers and how to present and all. You have given very elaborate explanation. Thank you, sir, very much. And day 4, Dr. K. Kavita from B.V. Raju, Hyderabad Engineering College. Ma'am has explained us the art of writing research projects. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking your valuable time and speaking with us on the day 4. And Dr. K. Bhavanarayana, sir, professor in Pendekanti Institute of Management, sir has explained us about the research methodology. Sir, thank you so much. Especially this is so useful for our young researchers. Nice guidelines you have given, sir. Thank you so much. And well, it's not the last, but very, very important. Today, the guest speaker, Professor Dr. Bharat Ram from a business school. He's from Pokhara University, Nepal. So today he has spoke so well from taking Maslow theory onwards, how to take up the self-actualization, means research is our, as a teachers, our self-actualization, the highest goal is to take up research. So how to take up the research and designing research papers and all. Thank you, sir, for your elaborate description upon all these things, sir. So for all these speakers, from my heart, I express my heartfelt thanks. I fail in my duties if I don't mention some of the important people who did an excellent job in organizing this program, especially Dr. Vijayalakshmi, coordinator, research cell, and Dean of Science, and the convener of this 5-day international FDP program. Ma'am, so thankful to you for the way you have designed this program and the program and inviting eminent speakers in from the different fields, which are so useful for us. Thank you, ma'am. And I also thank IQAC coordinator for joining with Mr. Sai Prasad, sir, for joining with the research committee and organizing this program. Thank you so much, sir, for your advices and for your contributions. I also thank all the deans of the college, both UG, PG, for your support. And mainly, I take this opportunity to appreciate and thank the organizing committee who has taken great pains in running these many days, especially in this organizing committee. Dr. Shakira, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, Dr. Sindhu Varghese from Management Department. Thank you, ma'am, for moderating all the sessions in a very decent and dignified manner with your smiling things. Thank you, ma'am. And especially I want to thank all the student volunteers who are helping us in the technical works and all. Since the day 1 or from the time we have been starting about this program and all, you are with us, kids. So thank you so much for your active participation and helping us. So finally, I express my heartfelt thanks to all the participants. And not only you participated, actually, you have your own doubts and you could able to clarify your doubts with the help of our guest speakers and all. So we hope that it is beneficial to all of you. So thank you so much. We look forward again for your participation for this kind of things. We are assuring you, surely we will provide in the feedback forms and all. You can write what type of things you required so that our management is always ready to arrange such kind of webinars or FDP programs for the benefit of the faculty of the teaching community. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. God bless you all.
Thank you, Ratnavani ma'am. Thank you for your vote of thanks. Dear participants, if you want to say few words about this international FDP, you are most welcome. Anybody wants to say a few words?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, respected people in the webinar or FTP. Like this, FTP helped every staff members or the students who have connected in a wonderful way with a lot of knowledge given in every aspect of the research programs that we've been done. Thanks a lot for the organizers and thanks a lot for all the guests, those who have given their information. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the organizing a wonderful webinar or FTP. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone
Can I
else?
say something?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Preeti Samyukta from Hyderabad. Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yeah. So I head the Department of Painting. I'm from a fine art background, and I've been attending these 5-day sessions, which actually I congratulate Loyola Academy for having a beautiful 5-day FDP. You have very intentionally tailor-made this entire session in today's times when we are talking about research and research programs. Your insights and your you have picked in these resource persons very well, and it was a very thought-provoking session. Each session that you had come up with for those research scholars who had involved themselves in this. So I thank you. I enjoyed this entire session. I'm very happy that you're also sending recordings and YouTube links. Thank you so much. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am, for your feedback. We would really appreciate if the participants, anybody would like to share their views on this.
Hello, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Mrs. Mary Vinayshila. I am from St. Joseph Degree and PG College. I thank the organizers of Loyola Academy and the Faculty of Science who have organized such a wonderful program. It was a really well-planned package, ma'am. Everything was systematically arranged at every point where we were able to enhance our knowledge, and even though we knew certain things, we were able to refresh ourselves. So I thank each and every one who is involved in organizing such a wonderful seminar. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Sindhuja from Tamil Nadu. I'm from Nazio College of Arts and Science. Thank to Loyola Academy for arranging this program. It is not only for researchers, but also faculty, those who are want to improve or develop themselves. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Reshma Nikhat from Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. And this is in spite, I have heard about this Loyola Academy, but it is my fortune that because of this online mode, we could meet, we could interact. It is a very nice platform, ma'am. I wish to join again in future if you're going to organize programs like this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dear participants, we have already uploaded the feedback link in the chat. Make sure that you will fill up the today's overall feedback link. And you will be getting the certificates, participation certificates within a week.
Good afternoon, one and all. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Ragini, tell me.
Yeah. Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I was actually, I'm very excited to speak to my favorite madam, Vijay Lakshmi madam. I'm very thankful and fortunate to attend this FDP 5-day program. And thanks to all the organizers, all the speakers, all the wonderful speakers actually. We could learn many things. Actually, I'm recently joined for PhD, registered from Geetam University. So I could learn many things like how to write a project report, how to approach, how to collect data, everything we could learn. Thank you once again, ma'am. We wish to join once again for the future FDPs. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ragini. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best for your PhD degree. I
Thank
hope
you, ma'am.
you as soon as possible.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, ma'am.
Ma'am, I am K.R. Geeta, research scholar from Ayappa University, Tamil Nadu. Ma'am, I had been attend all the 5 days program. Really, it was very excellent and thought-provoking session. I would like to thank the organizing committee and all the resource persons from various institutions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
నీళ్ళు కావాలంటే ఇప్పుడే
Dear participants, all of you receive your certificates within 1 week to 10 days. After it will come to your mail ID.
With this, we end the session. Thank you all for the participation and cooperation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shall we leave the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.